These Atlanta hairstylists have lost their motherfucking minds that I'm not going for it anymore. I'm done being robbed blind. I'm sick of it. Y'all have to be stopped. And I am going to go ahead and be the first to do it. If that means I got to get in this bathroom and learn how to bleach my own knots, then that's just what I'm going to have to do. Because if you think I'm going to keep being overcharged for bare minimum work. What's up, you guys? So this will be my first official video on this channel. Come with me to figure out how to bleach knots for a lace front wig and how to cut my own baby hairs and create my own part, because Atlanta hairstylists are getting out of hand with their prices and I'm not going to keep going for it. So a little bit of a backstory. I like to order wigs off of different sites like Aliexpress, I See Hair, a couple other places, and I will take my wigs to a hairstylist who specializes in wigs, except all I need is for it to be customized, which means I need the knots bleached, I need to have parting, and I need to have baby hairs. That's it. That's all. Something so simple. The first stylist that I went to, she was charging me $150 each time. Mind you, I'm purchasing the hair, I'm dropping off the wig. When I get it back, it is parted for a middle part 9 times out of 10, has some baby hairs on the side, and the knots are bleached. $150 for each wig. I stopped going to her when I asked her could she dye one of my wigs a different color and still do the regular customization. She said yes, it will be $150. Right. Then I went to a different hairstylist who was doing good in the beginning. She was charging like $35, maybe $40 max. Same thing I was asking for, and I would drop it off to her. She actually took more time. So the first hairstylist would take like 3 days. This hairstylist would take a week to do this, right? So, you know, $35, $40, I'm like, okay, cool. Mind you, I'm driving like 30 minutes, 35 minutes to drop this off to her. Then each time I would come back, it would change. It would go up to $50, $55. Then this last time, she had told me it was going to be $55. I told her all I needed was middle part, some baby hairs, knots bleached, the usual. She says, okay, great, that'll be $55. Then she inboxed me back and said, actually, since it's a 360 wig, it's going to be $65. This is a plain black wig. I don't need much done. That's when I decided I have had it, because this wig was $77 and I'm not going to pay dang near the same amount that I paid for this wig. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to figure it out ourselves. We may not get it right this time, but practice makes perfect. So we'll learn from this video and we'll know what to do and what not to do for next time. So do not take this video 100% serious. This is you guys going through the process with me. We'll see how it turns out. Today we'll be working with the wig from Aliexpress. Like I said, it's from some store. It's a little hard to pronounce, but I'll make sure I post the details in the description. However, I don't recommend this wig already, and I don't even have it in my head, but it's just a few things that have already thrown me off. So first off, this wig is supposed to be 26 inches. Now, the wig was $77, like I said, so I know you get what you pay for. The wig is not 26 inches all around, and that's what I've realized has been going on with a lot of wigs that come from AliExpress specifically. A lot of other hair companies, when it comes to straight hair, I've been having a problem with thickness and finding hair that is of good quality that bounces back. I don't know what's going on with AliExpress wigs, but when I wash it with a little bit of conditioner, it gets all matted and I can't even wear the hair anymore. That's another thing I'm going to be scared to do, because I do respect the fact that when I do drop these wigs off, when I pick them back up, they're like new again. I'm going to figure it out though. Anyways, this wig is supposed to be 26 inches. Anybody who knows anything about wigs, if this is the bottom of the wig, maybe you cannot see it. Basically, this longest piece is 26 inches. Everything else all up in the front, all around, is not. When I order 26 inches, I want 26 inches all around. Not only that, the bundles are a little thin. It's either have your hair up front or have it all in the back, but you cannot do both. It's given that. Other than that, seems like the hair will be pretty decent. I really won't know until I start working with it. However, like I said, me personally, I don't recommend it, but for this being my first time trying to bleach knots and stuff, I figured this was perfect, because if I mess it up, it's not like I'm losing out on a lot of money. Me personally, what I've been doing to save myself money, I've been ordering already ready to wear wigs, glueless wigs. They already come parted. They already come with the baby hairs. They already come with the clips and the band. And it makes it so much more easier. You don't have to worry about bleaching any knots or anything like that. This time I tried to go the cheap route, but I won't be doing this again. So I've rambled more than enough. It's been 5 minutes of rambling. Also, let me just show you guys what else the wig came with. So it came in this. It came with some wig caps that are never my color. And then it came with, well, actually, we can work with it. And then it came with some lashes that are usually thin, but shout out to them. So the owner of the company was really cool, you know, great communication. It's just the wig isn't all that. I do feel like Aliexpress is starting to have more fake reviews than it is actual reviews. So I would say keep that in mind. I've also been getting bad wigs from like Icy Hair too. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, so I went to the store. I got the products that are needed for dyeing. The total was about $15 for everything that's needed to do the wig. But she was going to charge me $65. And I'm all for charging your worth, but there has to be a limit. Okay, so let's go ahead and we're going to move to the bathroom, and I will see y'all when I get in there. Alrighty, so these are some of the items that you'll need. So the first step we're going to do is take the powder, and we are going to put it inside of the bowl. For me, I use this entire packet, but I did have some product left over. So if you do not want to use the entire thing, like if you're doing a closure or something, you can definitely probably use half a packet. So now we're going to pour in a developer. Do not pour a lot, do little by little, because you do not want to overly saturate this powder and now it's watery. You want to kind of get a thick consistency, but not too thick that it's hard to spread and you find yourself applying too much pressure, but not too thin that it's bleeding through the knots. So this is what we're looking for. So next we're going to comb back all of the hair so that we can add the got to be glued to the lace as well as the hair. This is going to protect our hair from getting bleached during the process of bleaching the knots. So you want to make sure that you get all of the areas inside the wig and make sure that you really take care of the hairline of the wig and comb that hair back again to really get the got to be glued through there before we start with our process. Next, we're going to turn the wig inside out. This is going to ensure that we're able to get all the areas that we need to bleach the knots. And I am going ahead and getting my timer prepared for 15 minutes. We'll set this timer after we apply the bleach. So during this process, it's really important to not apply too much pressure, because if the bleach goes through the knots, it can start dyeing your hair. So you want to gently apply the bleach all throughout the lace. And I make sure that I go above the hairline. So the last line of hair on the hairline, the last spot that you see the hair, I go a little bit higher than that, just so that if there's any lace left out, that also gets touched as well. I'm not sure if that makes a difference, because for the most part lace is pretty transparent, but I just want to cover all bases. One tip that I can give you, looking back at things and seeing how my hair turned out, make sure that you get the the bleach all the way to the back of the wig. So don't be afraid to get further back if you know that you're going to be doing middle parting or side parting. For me, I didn't think it was that important to get far back on the lace. I was more concerned with the hairline. And when I did my middle part, towards the end of the part in the back, it looks more black than the transparent look that I was looking for. As you can see, after the bleach is applied, I am just removing the hair that may be a little bit attached, just so that it does not get dyed. And off camera, I did go back with some cold water and I had it on my hands, and I went back and I touched up any strands of hair that had bleach. I am applying foil right now to help with the bleaching process and speed it up. So it's been 15 minutes. I'm checking out the hair, the knots. The goal is to have the knots no longer black. That is the goal. As you can see, the knots are still seen as black. So I put the foil back on, let it sit for another 20 minutes. This is after another 20 minutes. So I'm checking out the knots again, as you can see here. So it's still not that great, so I did set it for another 20 minutes. I came back again. This time it's more to my liking. I've been told the darker you are, the less time you need for bleach as opposed to the lighter your skin is. I'm not too sure, but I'm now washing out the bleach. So I'm first going in with cold water just to remove it from all the areas. Now we're going to go in with the silver shampoo. This is to help correct any brassiness or any weird tones that may have came out from being bleached. So we are applying it all to the hairline of the wig, as well as the areas inside of the wig that we applied the bleach as well. And then we'll also make sure that we hit the whole wig just for those areas that bleach may have gotten onto. So now we're going to start plucking the wig. I already started plucking, well, I already did pluck my middle part. I got a little plucking happy. I'll show you guys how to correct that after everything is done. So you're going to need a comb and you're going to need tweezers and a wig head for this portion. And I did have to get a little creative, so those are thumbtacks in my wig head. I am parting out a front section no more than 1 inch, and that section is going to be left out for the first half of plucking. I'm going to pluck the row behind the first row, and we are going to do every other section. This is going to ensure that we do not have bald spots and that we are not over plucking. Now, I watched a few videos of how to bleach knots and pluck the lace, and from the tips that I've heard, if you're a beginner, it is better to pluck a wig when it is dry than wet. However, hair does come out quicker when the wig is wet, so the process does go quicker, but you do need to be careful. I learned that with my part, but just keep that in mind if you do want the hair to be wet. One thing that I did realize is plucking, I was just doing the motion at first, but then I understood the importance of pulling the hair from the actual root and taking the whole knot with you. That is going to give you that transparent look that you're looking for. If not, you're just going to be plucking hair. It's going to give you a bald look, but you're still going to have fullness in that area, if that kind of makes sense. So keep that in mind. So now I'm taking that front row of that inch of hair that I parted out and I am adding it back. I'm combing all the hair back so that I can see what I'm working with. And the purpose of separating that whole front portion of the inch of hair is in case you mess up on that back row and overly pluck, that front row is your savior and can cover it up and make it look better. But also it's to make sure that your hairline isn't overly thick. So now we're going into the front hairline, the actual hairline, and we're still going to apply the rules of every other and still pulling the hair from the actual knots. I did have to go back and repluck everything on this side because I did not understand the knot concept until I got to the second half of the hair. So I'm trying to save you some time. And there will be a lot of hair left over after it's all said and done. You'll see when I comb all the hair out. And it's actually very important during this time frame to make sure you are combing often. That is going to give you the gauge of how much you've plucked and what you're working with so that you do not overly pluck thinking that there's more hair there than what it is. So please, 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 please make sure you comb. So this is the hair after fully being plucked. As you can see, it's so much hair that came out. And this is me struggling to use a wax stick that no longer had product. And I'm understanding and realizing that it was like 11 p.m. at this point. And the other wax stick I had also didn't have anything in it, so we had to improvise again. We had to just kind of go in and use our fingers and apply. All right, you guys, the moment of truth that everybody has been waiting for. So this is the hair. So I wrote down some notes since this is my first time. I do just want to show you guys. This is how my knots turned out. My parts and like the hair is not all the way, you know, down the way that it could be, but I'm satisfied with the way that the results turned out. I do have baby hairs cut, but I actually realized that I like the wig so much better when it is just down. So, well, like no baby hairs. So a little bit about my experience. So some of the main ones that I wanted to point out for you all, just so that you guys can be mindful. Letting the bleach sit longer on the lace. And the reason why you want to do that is because at least for me, I feel like my lace could have been a lot lighter. Like I said, you do want to tailor the lace color to your actual skin tone, which mine does blend, so it's not a big deal, but I just would have preferred it to be a little bit lighter. My lace came out being more so orangey tint, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen when you get knots bleached sometimes and it looks more orangish. That's what I was getting. So leaving the bleach on longer, I feel, will correct this issue. But if somebody else has other tips or just an answer for why this is happening, please leave it down below. I am open to any advice that anybody has to give me, because like I said, this was my first time, so I am more than happy to receive any help. The next thing that I would say is get the bleach all the way to the back. So for me, when it gets back here, it gets black. It's not even like the tan that's all the way up front. And it's because even if you go back and watch the video, I did not put the bleach all the way on the back of the on the back of the lace. So that's my fault. Next time I will be more mindful of that. And if you get smaller lace options, you don't need as much bleach. So let's just say you have a T-part wig. Really, that comes already parted, but if you do want to bleach your knots, you do not need that much bleach. You don't even need probably even a half of the packet that I use. So keep that in mind. You can always add more, but no need to waste products. Like I said earlier in the video, I ended up spending about $15 for all of the products that I needed to do my hair, which is crazy because I was going to end up spending $65 for somebody to do this. So another thing is, so with the bleach, you want to make sure that you take your time. Do not rush the process. It ended up taking me about 45 minutes to do the whole bleaching process. If it takes longer than that, do not feel bad. Do not feel like you're doing something wrong. I'd rather you take your time and get the results that you want instead of it not coming out the way that you want to because you're trying to rush it. The same goes with plucking. Take your time plucking, please. We are in no rush. And you need to make sure that you are combing throughout the entire process to make sure that you are seeing exactly what you are plucking and how you are plucking it. When it comes to bouncing back the wig, so I did get it to bounce back for the most part. It was hell. The first time I put too much oil. So then I Googled and I was like, how do you get a wig to bounce back properly? Does overly oiling it make it, because it was like kind of stiff, like it wasn't moving when I would move. And I said, well, hold on, I put too much oil. But they said too much oil can cause this situation, not enough oil can cause this situation. So I just went back to the drawing board, I rewashed the hair, came back, tried to see what to do from there. From there, I just went ahead and I just started blow drying and straightening out the hair, and I just wanted to see what state it was in like that. Then I added literally the smallest dollop, not even a dollop, like a half of a dollop of oil in my hand, and I rubbed them together. Then I rubbed my hands throughout my hair. That oil that you've seen in the beginning of the video is the oil that I use. After that, I let it go for like a day or two, and then today I applied the same small amount of oil again to my hair, and I did go in with the blow dryer and the twist brush that has bristles all around it. It's round. I use one of those. I don't have the blow dryer connection thing, but that also helped my hair just look more full. But those, let me see. Oh, 1 second, you guys. I just filmed this whole talk through I'm finna do, and it didn't go. So earlier in the video, I talked about how I overly plucked my part. I'm gonna show you guys how to fix it. I got this from a hairstylist. I was coming to pick up my wig. She said she had to do one last touch. She ended up grabbing this and spraying it on the wig, and it changed my life. And I realized these girls, 9 times out of 10, do not even be doing it perfectly themselves. So what you're going to do is, if you overly pluck the wig, you're going to take the comb. Imagine this is a comb. You're going to place it into the center of your part. You're going to cover the part that you don't want to be the color of your hair. So if you're okay with the way that the part looks, you put the comb wherever you want to fix the issue. Let's just say it's here. You're going to take this dye. You want the black one. You're going to shake it. You're going to spray it in that spot, and it's going to cover it for you, and it's going to look like new again. That is how you fix those imperfections in your part and make them perfect. That also works if you want to make your part more thin and more blunt. So that concludes the portion of everything that I've learned about this entire process. This next portion is going to be the review of the wig, so stay here if you want to see. Let's just go ahead and get into it. So the store name, the details of the wig will be down in the description box. This wig is thin, as I knew it would be, but it is extremely thin. This is it. This is all of the wig. So do with that information what you will. It does look better curled than it does look straight, but even just from the beginning of this video till now, you can see that my curls have dropped. So obviously I'm going to have to spray something to hold the curls in this hair. It does bounce back good after I bleached the knots and I washed it. It's back to its original state and it's still very soft, so I will give it that. It did come with a little bit of a smell, nothing too pungent, but it was still kind of a hint of it. So also, it's not, this is giving maybe 18. This is supposed to be 26 inches. You see what I'm saying? Like all around, it's not 26 inches, and that really bothers me, especially when the portion that is 26 inches is probably just this. That's crazy to me, because this is only a little bit of hair. That doesn't really make too big of a difference, and it still doesn't even touch my butt. Even while I'm sitting down, and I'm 5'2", but it's supposed to be 26 inches. That's crazy to me. Anyways, the seller responded very quickly. They did have this little weird thing going on that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. They have like some, I don't know if it's a lottery or a raffle, but you can enter it somehow. I'm sure it has something to do with leaving them 5 stars and a good review on the hair. I'm almost positive, but they call it a welfare event or something. And basically they'll pick one person to win a free wig. So they've been texting me constantly asking me, do I want to be a part of the welfare event? I don't know if somebody finally told them that that's kind of offensive, especially since most of your, if not all of your clientele is Black women. It feels a little, they ended up changing the wording, but at that point I was like, I'm okay. It's a great starter wig if that's something that you're looking for in order to learn how to do this process. So buy it if that's what you're looking to do. It's wearable. It's just not as thick as I would like it to be. I'm looking for a Santano type of wig. You feel me? Now that's probably 400% density. You know what I mean? The wig came freaking quick. It came in like 3 days. I'm not even gonna lie to you. What else? It does come with 3 clips, and it comes with the elastic band, which I absolutely love. That's the newest thing that I look for on my wigs. I really feel like it really secures the wig and helps it lay down better. But this wig is a little too big for my head, so I have no choice but to glue it down. I can't wear it glueless even if I wanted to. It'd be off my head, even with the bands, even with the elastic band as well. So if you guys have any questions, please leave them down below. I will come back with another review or another tutorial when I have one ready for y'all. Thank you so much for riding out with me and watching this video, and I love you guys. Bye.